Good morning. I apologize for us being so tardy this morning, but I can assure you we were doing the business at the county, and it was what we were doing was important. First thing we need to do before we go after our regular meeting, I need to reconvene the Board of Equalization and Review. And if you'll come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And is there anyone here to appeal a value? Give us the update then, please.
Okay. We still have the same amount I reported last and 2 weeks ago. We have 14 parcels with 11 owners that did informal appeals with our office this year. We're working through those now. If any of those want to file a formal appeal, then that can be heard by you sitting as a Board of Commissioners at a later date.
Okay. And again, is there anyone here to do that, to speak? If not, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the Board of Equalization and Review.
So moved.
Got a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move right on into our regular board meeting, which actually we were on time, believe it or not. And I'll do the invocation this morning. So if we all bow our heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for another great day. Thank you for the ability to put this board together, for these minds to work together for the betterment of this county. Please protect all our folks out there in the military and those first responders. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. Thank you.
Please stand and face the flag. And repeat the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Dobry. Has everybody had the opportunity to read the minutes? And if there were any corrections to the minutes? Okay, we got a motion on the floor. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Discussion and adjustment of the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Under special presentations, number 2, the Maxwell Center update. Our director, James Wade, is under the weather today, so he has requested that we do this 2 weeks from today.
Okay, thank you. Any changes from the commissioners? If not, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Motion on the floor. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Now for the presentation of employee service plans, I guess we need to come down up front.
We've done a lot of things back. We're still doing that.
All right, ready? Do you have the one-year plans?
Yes.
You ready? To begin with, Karen Cosgrove, Tax Administration. Yolanda Hines, DSS Regular Services. Jesse Shackelford, Emergency Medical Services.
Thank you.
Casey Smith, Health Department. Rhonda Thompson, DSS Regular Services.
Thank you.
Cassie Turnage, Non-Emergency Transport. Charles Westbrook, Tax Administration. Megan Wilson, Wayne County Public Library. Jacqueline Breedlove, Solid Waste. Ashley Davis, DSS Child Support. I skipped one, sorry. Anthony Cape, Planning Department. Kamika Langston, DSS Child Support. Vanity Newsom, Facilities. Christy Parker, County Manager's Office. Thank you. Jose Perez, Information Technology. And Adrian Thompson, the jail. Hold on. And finally, for 1 year, Mr. Parker will present our county manager, Craig Honeyman.
Congratulations.
Said it would never last. Never last.
Your evaluation's coming up.
Wait a minute.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, 5-year pins.
All right.
And we'll begin with Martha Bradshaw from the Health Department, Family Planning. Susan Brock, Emergency Medical Services. They get disenchanted after 5 years. Ruth Carruthers, DSS Income Maintenance. Randy Faircloth, Emergency Medical Services. Kathy Fields, Inspections. Tiffany Miller, Child Health. Jennings Rhodes, Sheriff Department. Deborah Barfield, Health Department. Jack Baisden, Animal Control. Ashley Dawson, DSS Regular Services. Cynthia Giuliano, DSS Income Maintenance. Tyler Santafort, Emergency Medical Services. And Michael Smith, Facilities. Now we'll move on to the 10-year pins. Pamela Goff, Health Administration. Libby Jo Jorgensen, Information Technology. Leslie Ruiz, I messed that up. DSS Regular Services. Leslie Ruiz? Ruiz. There we go. Leslie Ruiz. Thank you. And that's it for our 10-year. Now we have our 15-year service pin. Brenda Lee Harper, DSS Income Maintenance. Our 20-year service pins, we start with Jimmy Pittman with the Sheriff's Department. Vita Ham, DSS Regular Services. Next is Richard S. Lewis, Health, Environmental Health. Queen Red from the jail. Then we have Miss Janice Rogers, who we know as Janice Rice from Finance. Ronald Carasquello with the Sheriff's Office. Phyllis Marshburn, DSS Income Maintenance.
Oh, yeah, notice we didn't hug you.
And Trey Worrell, Sheriff's Department. And we have one more. You have it?
I got 25 and 30.
You have 30?
25.
Oh, that was not separated. That was Jimmy Pittman. He should have had 25 instead of the 20. I'm sorry. It was in the... Did he leave? Oh, he wasn't here at all. Okay, Jimmy was at 25. We're going to the 30. Sorry. And this young lady, 30 years with the planning department, Robin Bjorlin. Yes, it did. That goes to you anyway. That's it.
We are back, and let's see here. Do it in Virginia and that. We go to our special presentations
Yeah,
first.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Dr. Walker.
They've kind of turned it around from the public comments. Okay. Dr. Walker here. Oh, there he is. I see him. He's back, hiding in the back there.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Honorable Commissioners. I have joining me for a presentation from the college, Mr. Craig Folk, Executive Director of our Business and Industry. Glad to be with you all this morning. As you all are well aware, for quite a few years now, the county commissioners and the County of Wayne and Wayne Community College have been working to address the advanced manufacturing needs of the county. And one of the initial efforts began down on our Dixie Trail project, which you're very familiar with. What we'd like to present to you this morning is an alternative option in lieu of that changing now. I went too far, didn't I?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
She's got the wrong presentation.
Okay. Does she?
This was an old presentation.
You got a new one?
I don't, but if you have one, we can, look at you.
You got on your thumb drive too?
Be prepared. We're a Boy Scout.
Actually, I was, Mr. Dutton. Yeah, that didn't hurt. All right. Let's close that one out. Let's see, how do I search?
You got a lot on that stick.
I do a lot of presentations.
Yeah, that's the April 17th.
Perfect. All right, that was quick. Pretty proud of myself. It normally doesn't happen like that, Commissioner. But again, back to our purpose was to create an advanced manufacturing center environment similar to the intent with Dixie Trail. And we want to do that on the main campus. Should just click, shouldn't it?
Yes.
And we went back and used some of the very same language that you gentlemen are probably familiar with because I felt, and the board feels, and the college feels, that it was important that we remember what the focus of this was, which was the creation of an advanced manufacturing environment. And to do that, the goals were to provide the business and industry with leading-edge customized training and a pipeline of highly skilled workers, also as an attractant to new businesses, to demonstrate that Wayne County and its educational institutions are serious about world-class training and about our commitment to making businesses, both new and existing, more profitable. We also wanted to make an impression on executives regarding decisions or expanding in Wayne County, and most importantly, bring more and better jobs to Wayne County and the region to boost the local economy. Now, I'm going to ask Mr. Folk at this time to provide some details about where the programs specifically involved in advanced manufacturing are located on our campus, and he'll give you some details around that.
So one of the concerns from Wayne County Development Alliance was the fact that the manufacturing programs, when they brought somebody on main campus, were spread out across the campus. Here you'll see actually 5 different buildings that manufacturing programs are located in, and what we're going to try to do is in the most cost-effective way, bring these programs down to one centralized area so that when Ms. Creech or Ms. Geddes is to bring somebody that is going to be new to the county to come and look at what the educational capacity that we could teach the manufacturing skilled trades, that they would be able to do this without having to go across the whole campus, just simply coming into one centralized area. So these are the buildings that they're currently housed in. That is the map of the main campus. From our manufacturing programming spaces, here you'll see the 4 programs that are mainly supporting manufacturing. Of course, there are others like a business program from a business office. However, these are the ones teaching the actual programs that are going to be the people that are going to be making parts or assembling parts, maintaining equipment. So these 4 program areas, currently they house 18,670 square foot. Through the assessment that the design firm did when we were moving out to Dixie Trail, basically what they were looking at is that they needed 31,080 square foot to be able to meet the needs of what we were projecting. You'll see that that's a deficit of approximately 12,410 square foot from what they are currently in right now. Now, to just give you some very quick numbers as far as students and what we would be able to to actually start to meet needs. Looking from computer integrated machining, roughly right now we've got 30 students that are enrolled in there between first and second year. Currently right now there are annually about 25 jobs that are opening for that particular one. So if you have roughly 15 that are graduating each year, with an expected 12% increase in those jobs in the future. 47 mechanical engineering students, first and second year, and with that there are 31 jobs annually that are open, with a 4% increase with that particular job expected. And then our industrial maintenance and mechatronics, we've got 53 students that are currently in there. This is one where we have actually got a really big need. There's 45 annual jobs, so if you have half of those graduating each year, with a 7% increase. And then with our welding, we have 29 students, and this is one where we're not meeting our needs even if we were able to graduate them out. 34 openings every year, and we've only got 29 students inside there. And this, a portion of this is capacity, being able to have the space to be able to get the students inside there. That one also is projected at 11% increase, and these are all just normal increases. If we had a new business come in, then you've got the additional needs from those new businesses. Looking at that, this is how the programs are spread across the campus, and these are the buildings that they're affected in. If you look at all of the programs that are in a darker blue color, that is where the manufacturing programs are at. If you'll look, there's a lot of red that's right around those areas, and if let me see if the mouse will, yeah. So this is our machine shop right over here. Very costly program to move, very high needs for utilities, and for that program to actually be able to expand, it really wouldn't make a lot of sense to pick that one up and move it. And then also when you're looking over at this particular building, this is our welding. Another high utility need program. Both of those two programs need to expand. In doing that, what you see is it would probably be a little bit better and more cost effective to maybe take the programs that are in red and move them out somewhere else. So to be able to expand the programs, what we're looking at is potentially moving the programs that are in red. Those programs are our transportation programs. That includes 2 automotive programs, one sponsored by General Motors, one that's sponsored by Fiat Chrysler, and is also a generic program. Currently, they are housing 17,547 square foot, and if we looked at their assessed needs by the guidelines that they're accredited by, they should really be in 27,290 square foot. So they also have a deficit of 9,743 square foot. However, if we look at what the manufacturing programming needs, we saw where the red was at and that they were co-adjoining spaces. 17,000 square foot, we only needed 12,000 square foot. So what we've got is we've actually got a gain that we could use another 5,000 square foot. One of the things I did not point out, we did have a manufacturing program that's right in the middle of the Wayne Early Middle College High School. So we would be moving that program out, and we'd actually create more high school space inside the Wayne Early Middle College there on the second floor of our HOCUP building. So if we were to look at the spaces to become manufacturing, you'll notice that right here what we simply did is just took out all of the red where the program space were for our transportation programs, and now they are all blue. So what would happen is if Ms. Geddes was bringing a new company in to visit, there's a courtyard right inside of here. They would simply just enter right in where the arrow is at here, and everything around them would be manufacturing. It would all be on the first level, minus one classroom that was on the second level. So it would be a very easy space for them to be able to bring people into to be able to visit. So it gives us expansion, and it gives us also the ability of concentrating them all inside of one small area. So overall, what we're looking at, centralized programming space for advanced manufacturing and the ability to be able to expand, be able to fulfill also an obligation that we have to be able to produce more welders on a $750,000 grant that we've been sitting on for several years now that's going to be buying welding equipment. It also provides classroom space for short-term workforce development training, and this would also allow us to, if we move the transportation programs, be able to expand programming space to meet the needs that they currently have also. Possible use for the additional 5,000 square foot that we would gain off of this. Wayne Early Middle College High School would gain a classroom of almost 2,000 square foot. We'd be able to also expand our Ag and Natural Resource Lab space, expand our allied health programs, increase opportunities for high school students that maybe did not have a CTE program at their school that complemented this. They could come out and take that tuition free through Career and College Promise, and then also help us to be able to increase workforce development opportunities.
I will just say right here were two ideas that have been canvassed with regard to placement of an automotive facility on the campus. So if you're familiar with that campus, that Wayne Memorial would be down there near the bottom of that. But two proposed areas by our architects have been to the left there, that would be your left, would be that property that is behind the Advanced Manufacturing Center. And that brings with it the added addition of having the water retention issues already resolved on that side. And then the other one is inside the loop, and if you're familiar with our campus, that is back by the Pine building where our nursing and public safety area is. So those are just two propositions, not necessarily suggestions. The architect has just been already thoughtful about where you could locate an automotive building on the campus.
Mr. Chairman, could I pose a question?
Yes.
Am I understanding you to say that if you go to the area to the right there,
Yes.
that would require additional cost to actually have a retention pond?
Yes, sir. Yes, the retention needs that are here to the left over here, when you all built the Maxwell Center, you built in enough retention in the pond from the land that we had back in the woods that there would not be a retention need.
And you got to have any estimate in regards to?
We haven't had any estimate on that yet, sir. We didn't want to get into we wanted to have the joint planning process sort of drive that.
But we do know that it will be an additional cost.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to dig a pond, it's going to cost something.
Well, based on what it cost us to dig that pond back, it's a substantial savings, I would think.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
That was a bottomless pit of it,
Yeah.
as I recall.
Yeah, what we need to look at cost, as far as cost prohibitiveness, also, you put it inside of what we call the loop. If we put it in this section over here, we can tie right into the main power plant, and we can actually feed off of the boilers. And so if we did put it over here, then we are looking, off to the left where we do have water retention, then you've got maybe some standalone HVAC needs that would have to be accounted for. So, it's really looking at which way is the most cost-effective way.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question, Mr. Commissioner? And this is a projection of the automotive building. So that is just an FYI and some of the needs. And one thing about automotive I think it's important to remember is that we do have those two specific programs around GM and Fiat and Chrysler, but also the collision program. And any questions from any of the commissioners? Did we address the needs of automotive? We had some numbers about automotive projections as well.
That was my question.
Okay. So currently, right now, in the two automotive programs, there are 70 students enrolled. Now, looking at that, because we are a General Motors program and a Fiat Chrysler program, those two programs are specific to our college, and the next closest college that offers either one of those, General Motors, is actually going to be Central Piedmont Community College. So do realize that we not only meet workforce needs that are in Wayne County, but this is a regional program that not every community college has. Saying that, we have 70 students. That's first year and second year, so you'd have roughly 35 that would be graduating. In Wayne County, 48 annual openings a year with a projected 4% increase with that also. So again, this is another area, and not to say that you have to have your associate's degree to be able to get a job in automotive, but with the technology on cars that you have today, it's definitely a benefit to be able to have that. Looking also at our collision repair numbers, the next closest program is in Fayetteville Tech. This one, we produce more than what we need in Wayne County. However, we are supplying, again, the region with that. We have 27 students enrolled. Currently, annual openings are 9 openings per year in this, and we do expect a 4% increase in that one also.
So the demand is there.
Yes, absolutely.
You're not meeting demand as it is.
Beg your pardon, sir?
You're not meeting demand as it is.
In none of these programs, absolutely not.
With the new facility, would you meet those demands? What would your graduation rate or student enrollment be at that point with the new facility?
Now, are we looking at from the manufacturing side, or are you looking from the transportation side? Total, I think you're going to be able to meet those on the manufacturing side. We'll be able to meet those needs. On the transportation side, again, because they're regional programs, I don't believe that you're going to even continue to meet those demands. There's still going to be even more demand that's going to be there.
But I would add for the commissioners that the use of career and college promise coming out of high school adds a lot more opportunities to get students, particularly by their junior or senior year, enrolled in some of these programs. Certainly from a welding perspective, it almost doubles our capacity in terms of meeting those needs, as well as with CNC. But that means we've got to do more work with our partner, the school system, to make sure those are in effect. And you all are well aware there are lots of moving parts here because we have apprenticeship opportunities developing simultaneously. So we can meet this demand.
Craig, you were talking to me privately before the meeting about
Yes, sir.
About the apprenticeships. Can you kind of let them know what's going on?
So,
are you ready to do that?
Yeah, I can. We are working with 6 different businesses in Wayne County. Well, actually 5 in Wayne County. We got 1 outside of Wayne County because the community college in Wilson County does not offer computer integrated machining, and they have a need for CNC operators. So with this, what we're looking at is strategically trying to be able to work with the public school system, and that is really happening right now with one of our employers inside of Goldsboro city limits. They're looking at trying to create some manufacturing programming within Goldsboro High School. We've met with the county school system. They're wanting to have internships or apprenticeships were the words that they were using. So to do this, first we've got to form adult apprenticeships. Forming the adult apprenticeships can then create opportunity for youth apprenticeships. The benefit for having youth apprenticeships is that if we have a child that is in high school that's participating in a youth apprenticeship, they graduate and then get moved into the adult apprenticeship, then any instruction that they get provided by the community college is tuition waivered. So now what you've got is you've got students that now do not have to pay for tuition to get college credit, college certificates, diplomas, or degrees. In saying that, with this particular employer being in city limits where we have high poverty rates, those students will probably also qualify for a Pell Grant. That Pell Grant money could then be used to possibly even provide transportation. So you start to meet some of the barriers that have kept people from being able to move forward. So that is one that we hope as soon as everything gets announced is going to be a model that we'll be able to use with a lot of the other employers that we're working with also. But we also did get awarded $250,000 to help assist employers in sending their current workforce or new workforce that they have to the college to provide tuition, books, and fees for those 6 other ones that we're working with.
I thought they'd be interested in that. Questions?
And Mr. Chairman, this is really to follow up a decision this board has made that we have committed up to $3.5 million for this advanced manufacturing center, using $3 million from the community college, but also I believe $500,000 also from your foundation as well. So the other caveat that this board has added to that is that the chairman would be able to appoint one person from our board to be on the facilities to help design so that the county would have a direct input on how it's been laid out and what side maybe the automotive building should be on. So
I've made that decision. I just hadn't told him yet.
Oh, okay. But I really do want to thank Dr. Walker and Craig and his staff and also this board. We've kind of taken a situation that was a lot of lemons, and we really did make really good lemonade out of it. So this is a very good plan. I appreciate the work and the commitment that they had, but also your commitment as well moving forward, because this is a project that has had its bumps in the road, but your commitment to an advanced manufacturing center in Wayne County has not wavered. So that really says a lot for this board, and I appreciate your commitment to this plan.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I also like to follow up on that. Dr. Walker and his staff has put a lot of time in this, and they've listened to this board. They've sharpened their pencil several times, and the work that they put into it, they've been being as conservative as they can without interfering with the education side of it for the students. Like Craig said, you know, the demand is there. We need to train more people, especially in the automotive and the welding and all. But I mean, you just ride down 70 highway and look at the car dealerships and all, and you just, a shade tree mechanic can't work on vehicles anymore. I mean, all they are, they're a computer with 4 wheels on it. And we need this program to move forward, and I thank Dr. Walker and his staff for the hard work they've put into it, and I can assure you by being on the board out there also, they have sharpened their pencil everywhere they can.
And also a big thanks to Commissioner Aycock for being that liaison for both boards and making sure that this project was moving forward, and he's done a lot of work behind the scenes as well, so we really want to thank you for your leadership on that.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much. I know we'll be talking soon.
Yes, sir.
You can leave that stick with us.
There's some other information in there I may not be proud
of. Many of you probably been looking at some additional construction out at the Maxwell Center area, and that's the farmers market that's going up, and it's moving very quickly. And this morning, Kevin Johnson, our extension director, is going to come up and give us the update.
Good morning.
Morning.
I did want to come and just kind of update y'all on where we are, what the progress is with the farmers market. Very proud of that. I call it a campus because we do have the Maxwell Center itself, which of course is the convention center, the ag offices, the farmers market, and we do have the greenhouse. The farmers market, I don't know when it's going to be done. The roof, I think they had ordered the wrong color roof, and so the sidewalls are up, and I think they're out there daily working, but I can't give you a date of completion on that. For the farmers market and opening, I do hope that we will be in there by May, but I can't answer that for sure because I really don't know where Jackson Builders is right now with that. But in any case, I did want you to know that we had a vendor meeting last Thursday night with 27 potential vendors. We had the Farm Bureau room pretty full, and we went over a set of rules that Jessica Strickland, our horticulture agent, and myself, we basically have talked to a lot of the farmers markets in our area. We've talked with the state farmers market, and we're trying to get a set of rules together that will be beneficial to our county, be beneficial to our farmers. So with that, right now we're looking at, hopefully opening in May. Right now I'm saying late May at best case scenario. And we would like to operate through October. Looking at being open on Tuesdays from noon to 6, Fridays from noon to 6, and Saturday mornings from 8 to noon. Couple things that we have, we're going to have an annual fee for any vendor, a $25 one-time annual fee, and then they will pay $5 a day. So, and that's right in line really with state farmers market. Sellable items, I know that's probably a question that I've had a lot of people come in the office. We're trying to really keep this a farmer's market. So we're looking at vegetables, fruits, eggs, meats, cut flowers, bedding plants, honey, and dairy products. Any kind of value-added stuff, where maybe some additional processing, we haven't made a decision on that yet. So that would be like jellies, jams, different things where you would process it. Any kind of cooked items, we're looking at trying to lean them in the direction of the curb market, because that's the purpose of the curb market. I know there's been some questions about, we're asking that the vendors that they produce 50% of the products, and that's right in line with the state farmers market. You want to have some type of rule like that, or you'll have people that don't have anything just going to the state farmers market and buying everything and turn around and reselling it. So we're trying to keep it so that our local growers can sell products. And we do realize that some stuff is not always seasonal, or they can't provide everything. So that's why they can go and get 50% of their product. You know, they may buy it from another farmer, or they may go to the state farmers market and get stuff. Any items like eggs and meat, of course, they will be required to have refrigeration. And of course, they're going to have to abide by, there's certain rules. NCDA will come out. They'll need to be inspected. Their scales, we're telling them that their scales have to be inspected, because, you know, weight plays into when you purchase products. So, but those are just some of the quick things that I wanted to throw out to you. I figured you might have some questions, and I would like to open up any questions you might have about what's going on.
Questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
This is not really a question, but I've had the honor of going out to the curb market a few times since it's moved to the Maxwell Center, and in talking to the vendors there, their business, part of them says their business has tripled just because of the new facility and the location. But I think that speaks highly of what the farmers market's going to do. I mean, if their business is increased by 2/3, I just feel like the farmers market's going to be a success.
The curb market at the Wing Center had one steady vendor, and they have 5 steady vendors right now. They open at 3 on Fridays, and they're generally sold out by sometimes 4:30 and 5, 2:30, depends on the vendor. But you know, yes, it's unbelievable. We actually have a good problem. We're full. You know, the Farm Bureau rooms where we're housing it is full. I've got some ideas of possibly expanding down our hallway, but in any case, yes, I do feel like that's a good sign that the farmers market will succeed. If you want to know about traffic, ride out to the Maxwell Center at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and tell me if there's a little traffic out there. I think we have people riding by. If we advertise it, I do think that we have people that would like to come and you know, patronize the farmers market.
How many vendors at one time can the farmers market accommodate?
We have 10 garage doors, so if we split it in half, we could possibly do 20. But we're gonna, if somebody is willing to be out there every day, and we do have that, we're gonna let them have a whole space. And we're gonna let them put up some permanent structures in there for that. Kind of like what you see at the state farmers market.
It's something that you and I discussed too. There's a couple of months there where there's no really vegetables out there to be sold. Perhaps crabs could be sold, but we'd have to put heaters in there to do that.
Yes, there is no environmental controls.
Yeah.
So if we did that, if we extended the season, we could put heat in it, I think, reasonably cheap. We do have natural gas pulled out there. But yeah, right now, any products like crafts, we're trying to stay away from that. We're trying to make it for farmers market.
Well, I was just thinking about that time frame.
But potentially, yes, yes. And you know, if in time we may change our minds, y'all may change your minds. You may want to open it up to some different products. But right now, we really are trying to keep it to those farm products.
Other questions? Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
All right, I know we're well past 9:05, but we will open up the public comments section. If anybody's got a comment, you're welcome to come up. You got 4 minutes. Give us your name, your phone number, and your address.
Morning, Commissioners. My name is Wade Latham, 919-751-1940. I live at 304 Tanya Drive here in Goldsboro. First off, I'd like to commend all the Commissioners for the absolute, what I consider dedication that you've put into our school system over the last few years as far as providing funds to enhance our school experience for our children here and make it a better experience for them. As you know, if you don't know, I am a candidate for the school board in this election cycle. As we know, though, unfortunately, money doesn't solve all our problems. And one of the biggest problems that I see right now in Wayne County is 40% of our schools are listed as low performing. If I flip that around and say if we were in business together and we were running at a 60% efficiency, we'd be out of business pretty quick. And I don't think it's fair to our students. I'm not putting any blame on any of y'all because I think you've done a fantastic job. And that's one of the reasons I'd like to get on the school board, is to get some fresh ideas in there and get some improvements going for our school system. And I think that's very, very important. So I just wanted to step up and let y'all know, thank you. And if the people of District 6 in Wayne County choose to elect me as their representative of the school board, I hope that while I'm on there, that with the school board, that we can continue working with you to help alleviate some of these issues for our students. So I don't have anything else to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is anyone else?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Edna Eubanks. Phone number 919-429-0828. My address is 589 Slick Rock Road, Goldsboro, in the county. I'm here this morning trying to find the status of a road that borders my property that used to be a state road, and now I'm being told is nobody owns. My issue is there is several properties that border this road, and there seems to be an issue. Some people are wanting to block the access to other property owners on this road. I have been to the county planning office. They tell me nobody owns this road, that the state has dropped it, the county doesn't own it, nobody owns it. So I want trying to find out who owns this road, and that's why I'm here today.
Could you find out what the story is on that? You got her number so somebody can get back with her.
Do you know about how long that would take?
Hopefully next couple days.
Next couple of days. Okay. Well, I reckon that's all the time I got. That's all I need to know for now.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
We'll get back. Yes, sir.
Maybe we need to clarify. Our planning director had to be in Raleigh this morning,
Right.
and he could probably answer more questions, but
Right.
unfortunately he had to be at a meeting in Raleigh this morning, and we just hired a new county planner that would come in, what,
May
2 weeks?
May
7th.
Yes, sir.
7th. And so work with us a little bit, but they will follow up.
We'll follow up.
Now, who is the one that you're talking about is in a meeting today?
Chip Crumpler.
Yes, I've been trying to get on the phone with him, and I'm meeting with him for a year.
We'll take care of that.
That'll be taken care of.
We'll follow up.
Okay, and the other one is coming in 2 weeks?
Yes.
What is his name?
Well, I'll announce it at the end. I was going to make a public, Barry Gray. We'll make the public announcement at the end, but he's just been hired. So.
Okay. Very great.
Very, very experienced young man.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you, sir.
Okay. Anyone else? No? Public comments is closed. Appointment Committee, Mr. Gurley.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we had several this morning. Appointments Committee met, and we'd like to recommend the reappointment of Sherry Wooten to the Community Child Fatality Prevention Team. I'd like to put this in form of a motion.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion?
So moved.
We got a motion on the, you made the motion, didn't you?
Okay. Well, I
Any
seconded
discussion?
or whatever. Okay.
All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Let's have about that. Okay.
We'd like to recommend the reappointment of Judy Hales to the Wayne County Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee. I'll put this in form of a motion.
There's a motion on the floor. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you.
I'd like to recommend the reappointment of Charles T. Gibson and Nancy Delia to the Commissioner Council for Older Adults. I'll put this in form of a motion.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
I'd like to recommend the appointment of Deborah Austin to the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee. Put this in form of a motion.
A motion on the floor. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
And last, I'd like to recommend the reappointment of Patricia Stevens to the Mount Olive Board of Adjustment, and I'd like to put this in form of a motion.
There's a motion on the floor. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you.
That's all.
Okay, thank you, sir. The consent agenda, we discussed all that at the earlier. Does anybody else have any questions about that?
I move adoption of the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve the consent agenda. Is any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Now we're going to move on to the fun stuff. And I've decided a little differently how I'm going to do this. I'm going to come down to the podium and then make these guys come down up front too, because we want to have pictures taken. We're going to adopt a resolution this morning recognizing a young lady, Ella June Hannett, the National Drive, Chip, and Putt Champion for 7 to 9 years old. And we are very proud of this young lady, and she's barely tall enough to hold the trophy there. But she's got something on me. I've never played golf at Augusta, so let's go down, gentlemen. After being in Augusta and seeing all those famous people there, I know that this is kind of old hat stuff to you now. But resolution recognizing Ella June Hannett, the 2018 National Drive, Chip, and Putt Champion for 7 to 9 year olds. Whereas Ella June Hannett is a 9-year-old daughter of Dr. and Miss Steve Hannett's sister Zeta Lee and Carson Lane. Is that right? And a resident of Pikeville, North Carolina, where I grew up, by the way. And whereas Ella June Hannett is an avid golfer who competes competitively on tour throughout the state and the region, and whereas Ella June Hannett has been ranked #1 in over 80 competitive events, and whereas in addition to golf, Ella June Hannett competes in numerous competitive sports, including javelin, karate, triathlons, billiards, darts, gin rummy, poker. And whereas Ella June Hannett won the regional drive, chip, and putt competition for 7 to 9 years old at Pinehurst, North Carolina, by more than 40 points in September 2018, qualifying for her national competition. And whereas Ella June Hannett won the national drive, chip, and putt competition for 7 to 9 year olds at Augusta National Golf Course in Augusta, Georgia, on April 1, 2018, and whereas the Wayne County Board of Commissioners recognizes the importance of sports activities in creating a healthy lifestyle for children and adults, now therefore be it resolved, the Wayne County Board of Commissioners recognizes the extraordinary athletic accomplishment of Ella June Hannett and hereby declares April 17, 2018 as Ella June Hannett Day in North Carolina, Wayne County, North Carolina. And I put that in the form of a motion. Do we have any discussion? I just said not. Let's raise our hand. Congratulations, young lady. And
First time I ever get one of these out. It's a key to the county.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know, something you could hit with your driver maybe. I think it's a paperweight. So if we could have you come up and stand up here with us, we'd love to have our picture taken with you. I know I'm not Jack Nicholas, but I'll do what I can.
I need you to sign that.
I did.
Oh, thank you.
Are we good?
Yes.
See, good things do come from Bible, don't they? This side. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the hat. You got a hat too, I'm sorry I forgot that.
We were going to keep the hat.
I have a lot of hats, you can see.
Front page, Steve.
That made her day.
And Mount Olive.
Yep. All right. That was fun. That was fun. And now I'll turn this over to county manager. I'm assistant county manager.
I've been here a year.
I know you've been here a year, man. You've earned the title. You've earned the title.
If I can have our finance department come up, please.
I guess we should say that. Wouldn't been approved that.
You are going to deduct your pay for 2 hours a day since then.
We will get it back one way or the other. But one of the great joys that I've had as being county manager the last couple of months has been the opportunity to have my offices up here on the 4th floor with the county and working with all these wonderful people here in finance. And if you don't know what finance does everything. They have their fingers involved from everything to accounts payable, accounts receivable, budget, capital projects, investments, you name it that deals with money in Wayne County, and that's how we operate. Payroll. Oh, I've got you got 2 weeks? Okay, all right, that's sure. But they do an exceptional job, and Allison and her staff, and we have been awarded the Government Finance Officers Association Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. That's our CAFRA, and this is not something this is our first year receiving this. For 22 years, Wayne County has been recognized in their accounting department in finance for the excellent work that they've done. And Allison, thanks to you and your staff for the work that you do, and we do appreciate it. And if you can find some more money during budget time now, I would be greatly appreciated. But again, thank you very much. Thank y'all as well. Thank you.
Speech, Allison.
Yeah.
Don't let Janice do it.
I just wanted to say thank you. We have all the tools and resources to be able to do something like this. We have excellent auditors, and then we have great support from management and from our commissioners and all the departments. And I have a fantastic staff, so I just thank them for that. Thank you.
Excellent work. Thank you again. Okay, motion to approve the increase in health opt-out payment to $1,500 for fiscal year 18-19.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As we go into open enrollment for our health insurance, currently our opt-out payment, if you can prove that you are covered under health insurance somewhere else and that the county does not have to pick up that cost, is $1,000. To incentivize a little bit more, we thought we would recommend moving up to $1,500.
And Rachel, our director, thinks it's a good idea to do that?
Yes.
I thought she did.
Motion.
Yes, I do.
Motion to approve.
We got a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you.
Thank you.
County manager comments.
Couple of things I did want to update on. The Joe Doherty welcome to Wayne County sign.
Why was my name attached? It's 2 years in the making.
I have good news. Weather permitting, the sign should be up within 3 to 4 weeks, according to an email that I received April 9th.
I don't believe it.
I'm just weather permitting. It should be April 9th. I think they've had some problems with all the rain recently, so that's my understanding.
It has not rained for 2 years.
Off and on.
Okay, all right.
So we had a hurricane. So, but again, it is coming. So I did want to let y'all be aware of that. The other thing I did want to mention is one of the priorities that the Board of Commissioners listed was looking at a natural gas distribution line in the northern part of the county. And Commissioner Aycock and Commissioner Mayo and myself, also Crystal Geddes, we had representatives from the natural gas, Piedmont Natural Gas there, Fremont, Eureka, and Pikeville were all in attendance and talking about the possibility of extending natural gas to the Pikeville-Fremont area. It's probably not going to happen. The closest line that we looked at was about 8.3 miles away, and a distribution line is a little bit over $4.1 million per mile. So to have a distribution line into the northern part of the county, we're talking about $32 million. So probably not going to happen unless we get the largest natural gas user who may be coming. And but they're not going to build it and then they will come. So we did want to talk about that because it was a priority that was listed by the board under our goals and objectives list for the year. Is there any questions about that?
We may have to stick to distribution ideas in that part of the county.
There may be offshoots from the current lines. You know, if you have to go quarter of a mile, maybe not as bad a deal, but 8 miles is a huge deal. So, any questions on that? The next thing I did want to mention, the cat is already out of the bag on Mr. Barry Gray. But Barry Gray is our new planning director for Wayne County. Barry will be starting May 7th. Barry is a native of Wayne County. He goes to church here. He's a graduate of CB Aycock. He is the current planning director in Johnson County. So we are excited and just, we have lost a lot of employees over time to Johnston County. It's nice to be able to bring one back home. So we're excited for Barry. Barry is as smart, professional planning director as you'll ever want to meet. So I'm very excited, and I think y'all will be excited as well once he gets back with his feet on the ground. So we're doing a press release on that today, and Carol and Joel's got that ready for us to send this afternoon. Any questions?
Just a comment. I've known him all of his life. Good kid. Comes from a good family, In fact, his granddad was county commissioner, Mr. Joe Lancaster, which was as fine a gentleman as there was in Wayne County. But I think that Barry is excited. And he's also involved in the Scouts here in the county. So, I mean, he's involved more than just from Wayne County.
Yes, sir. And his mom, I believe, was also on the planning board for years as well. So he said that kind of what got him into the planning field was looking at the information his mom got as being from on the planning board in Wayne County. So we're excited about that. Other thing I did want to mention is one of the requests that Commissioner Gurley has had is that we are able to visit. There's a list of schools that you would like to visit. We were going to try to do that today. Dr. Dunsmore had to be in Raleigh around lunch, so that would not have worked today. But he has given me any time during the week of April 30th through May 4th that we can set up that time to visit those schools. So if y'all want to email me or we want to set a time now, let me.
You know, we could probably visit those without Dr. Dunsmore being present.
Well, we can't. We can. I think he would like to if possible.
What was the date? April.
Anytime between April 30th and May 4th.
May what?
4th.
Really?
We'll get to it after the next commissioners meeting. Is that on the 1st?
Well, we have the CIP discussion.
Oh, okay. Well, we could do it.
I'm good on the 2nd.
I can do it on the 2nd.
The 2nd? What time would be good?
I got a doctor's appointment on the 2nd, but don't hold back on my part.
Well, what time is your appointment?
I do not remember. I know it's the 2nd, but I do not remember.
I think original, we wanted to go visit Goldsboro High, Wayne Academy, which is the old Goldsboro Junior High, and School Street School. And I'd like to add to that today Rosewood Middle School and Fremont Stars. If we can get those in one day, then we can come back with a second round, maybe.
Okay.
Broadman primary.
Do we want to try to do all of those in one day, or?
I'd like to see Broadman primary at some point myself, too.
I think we need to split this in two.
Oh, yeah.
We may have to.
There's a big schools.
I've been Broadman primary, but recently, and I was really pleasantly pleased with what I saw. So it's not a concern of mine, but if everyone wants to go, we'll certainly go.
You want to start about a half day? Is that?
Yeah.
We'll start with a half day and then see what we can see and then go from there.
Yeah, that's fine. Can we start at 9 o'clock in the morning?
Be fine with me. I get sleepy around lunchtime.
So still look at May 2nd? Or did you want to? Okay.
On that, would it be out of order to ask that we have Kendall, our facilities gentleman, to go with us in case we've got some questions over construction?
We'll have Kendall there. That's not a problem.
No?
It depends on how many we do per day, but I don't think a half day is going to do it justice. No. I mean, you'll do good to get two in. So be probably better off just to designate which schools and let time tell.
Okay. Well, we'll try to do half the list first and then half the second. How's that?
Okay. We'll try.
Okay.
We have to add a third, we'll do that.
Okay. The other thing I did want to mention to you, and I need your approval on, is the annual amnesty days at the landfill. We have those set right now as May 5th and October 6th, and I do need a motion for approval for those 2 dates.
Is there a motion? With a motion on the floor, any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. You got it.
And thank you. And the other thing I did want to mention is I hope everybody got the invitation for Thursday, the 19th at 11 a.m. is the opening of the Antioch EMS substation. So we're excited about that. If you remember, that is when Antioch and Patetown combined, we bought the Antioch substation, and we have renovated it, and Kendall and his crew has done a fabulous job on that. And we'll have you final budget figures, but you'll be impressed. So that'll be opening up. Furniture's in now, so be opening Thursday at 11 a.m. So Carol and her staff, we're going to really do a nice PR event on that on our social media.
It's the 19th, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me put that on my...
Where do we stand on the other stations? How far before we stand?
We are, I should have a bid date next week.
So the bids has been let?
No, or when they'll be, we had some additional surveying issues on a couple of the properties. Had to check for some drainage and retention issues. So, but I should be able to get you a date on that next week. But it's close. It is close.
Okay, I'm going to take your word for it.
Okay. Yep. I want to make it a year too. So it is close. So.
And this is drug on about like the advanced manufacturing now. It's just, kind of grease the wheels and let's go.
Yes, sir.
What's the amnesty days again?
May 5th and October 6th.
And what?
October 6th. And that is all I have.
Okay. We'll start with you, Mr. Aycock, today.
Okay. I've been under the weather for a couple of weeks, so I hadn't done a whole lot. I did go to the transportation meeting at the Maxwell Center last week. Good meeting. Also attended the gala for Friends of Seymour. Had a great turnout. General Kelly gave a good speech. Got a good update from Roosevelt Group, and I think we're in pretty good shape at Seymour Johnson. And also, Saturday I went out, had the pleasure of going to the First Responder Day. The sheriff got up and walked out on me, but I want to thank him personally and the Bridge Church and all the rest of the agencies. Seymour Johnson participated, right many of the fire departments, and had a real good turnout. And like I say, again, I want to thank the sheriff for kind of heading all this up and recognizing our first responders, paid and volunteer. And I think that with the turnout that he had, that it was very appreciative. Thank you.
Mr. Bell.
Mr. Chairman, starting on the 23rd and the 26th, I will get my final report and get released to start back being active again. So
you're gonna be on parole, huh?
Pardon me?
You're gonna be on parole?
Yeah. And, so I don't have any committee meetings, any committee report, but I would like to make, just for your information, the women prisons was in Raleigh. Everybody knows that when women go to prison, they go to Raleigh. Well, I got a letter from the Department of Division of Prison this week. They're going to open up several other locations, including News Correctional Center, where it will start housing women. I don't know how that's going to fall out.
Well, did it say it was going to be temporary out there, though?
Yeah, well, anything with the Department of Prison starts out temporary. Become permanent.
Good point.
But I just want to mention that as a note of information.
All right. Mr. Doctor.
Well, it's a brief meeting, so let me go ahead and go on my soap opera today.
When I picked this up, when I got it, I said, "Man, I'll be through about 10 o'clock."
I do have a very serious thing that I think that the board and the community as a whole needs to recognize. And the gentleman just, Mr. Lathan just mentioned it. But I think we as a community need to recognize that 40% of our schools are low performing. Now think about that for a minute. 40%. The speaker said, well, if you were in business and you were operating at 60% efficiency, you'd be out of business. I look at it the other way. If you are failing 40% of the time, you are failing, period. That's the word, failing. We're going to have to find some way to address this issue. We can no longer go years and let students go through school and be faced with a 40% failure rate. I mean, that's bad. That is just awful. And I know a lot of people look at it from the standpoint of, well, put money at it and so forth, and build new schools and that type of thing. It's not necessarily the structure that you are teaching. We all know it's a lot of different factors, but we need to find out what those factors are and come together, not only with this board, but with both school board and this board, and find solutions. I was not aware of it. I've sat on as a commissioner for 5 years, and I'm sad to say I never really recognized that we have that big of a failure rate in Wayne County. And that's one blemish that we ought to find some way to address. Off my soapbox. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Camarda.
I had one committee meeting that I went to last week, which was Board of Health, and they presented their budget to the board, to our health board. And just to give a brief look, anytime there was an increase, as far as I could tell, it had something to do with something that increased here at this level, which went to them. The increase in the opportunity for folk to opt out into, that's going to, if it affects at this broader level, it affects them. So nothing I thought was earth-shaking in their budget, Mr. Manager. Pretty much routine things. It was interesting to hear them go over it. And the one question that I think I asked them, hope I'm not backing up into another meeting, but with them. But I think they had maybe 13 vacancies. Hope I'm getting the right department. Yeah. And my question to them was, where did they recruit from? And if it wasn't this one, it was a recent one. Where did they recruit the employees from? And how well did say a Wayne Community College help them in training people to do what they do? But that's just not the health board, that's DSS and all, because each one of those agencies, and I serve on both of them, require some rather technical skills at times, and it doesn't appear that you can just come out of high school and get those. You're going to have some additional training to be able to do some of those. So the need for education specificity does not just rest at the K-12 level. There needs to be a lot of coordination and discussion about education K-16, not just K-12. Having served in the education arena for my whole career, I think that my first experience with the state grading system and either performing or not performing was somewhere around 95. And this is not to excuse the education system, and it's not absolutely to blame Raleigh. But if you go back and look at it, each time that the educational system develops a method to pass the test, Raleigh changes it and makes it something else. So the 14 schools that may be low performing now, and I think I heard Dr. Dunsmore say this recently, and I apologize if I got him wrong. Under a previous grading system, it would have been 5. 5 is still too many. But I say that because I want the public to understand that Raleigh and the powers to be move the goalposts and then don't send the resources to help that movement. One last thing. My colleague here, we talk about the brick and mortar a lot, and we've done a lot with brick and mortar. I challenge all the public to encourage the school system to spend more time with the human element side of education. We talk about what some children can or cannot do. It all goes back to poverty and socioeconomics. If a family only has what it takes to survive, they do not have what it takes to go to the zoo and to go visit the history museum and the science museum, or go to a play, or go to the beach and know what the ocean looks like. I know this may sound really radical, Mr. Merrill, but I believe 20% of the time in school needs to be spent beyond the school door. 20% of the time needs to be spent beyond the school grounds. It needs to be spent someplace out there learning some things and seeing some things that socioeconomics keeps a large part of our population from seeing. And so we recognize that it's economics. And we're going to have to do a better job at recruiting industry. And if industry, as we've previously known it, is not coming to us, then we need to go looking for what might come. I'm not saying we got to shift gears, but we got to maybe shift gears a little bit, because we need the movement of money to reach the hands of people who are not currently having the excess dollars to go get the things beyond the school building because they can't afford it on their own. Thank you.
Before I go to you, Mr. Gurley, Mr. Bill had one tiny thing.
I apologize, Mr. Chairman. I didn't know Mr. Doherty was going to bring up the educational system, but I just want to say this, and this is something that we don't think about too much. Wayne County have less than 18,000 students. We have more schools than any county that you can shake a stick at, anywhere around. We have too many schools in this city, in this county, in order to use those resources and those funding to do educational things. We're building buildings. We've already built the building. We have more schools than Cumberland County. We have more high schools than Cumberland County. So somewhere along the line, and my good friend and former Commissioner Jack Best stressed this when he was on the board, we have at least 10 schools more than what we need for the student population that we have. And it costs anywhere from $2 to $3 million per year for staffing each one of these schools. So you see where your money's going? You're putting money into staffing instead of putting it into the major educational thing. Now, I'm not saying close schools, but why do we have 32 or 3 schools in Wayne County? Good question, Joe, to look at.
Mr. Gurley.
I had the opportunity yesterday to go to Rosewood High School with Representative John Bell and State School Superintendent Mark Johnson. And Board of Education member Jennifer Strickland's there, along with Dr. Dunsmore, as Representative Bell and Superintendent Johnson recognized Rosewood High School wrestling team and Coach Bill Evanson as state champions in wrestling this year. And they presented them with a resolution and a flag. But more specifically with Coach Bill Evanson, or as everybody refers to as Coach Ed, he's done an outstanding job at Rosewood High School with that wrestling program. I think this is his 26th year, I believe, that, as far as I know, the only wrestling coach they've had out there. And I consider a very robust wrestling program and very proud of what they've done. And but as important as anything is that when Coach Ed gets those girls and boys in that program, he molds them into young men and women. And it's evident the way they shine after they graduate. And that's a strong attribute of Coach Ed, and I appreciate what he's done. And just as important, Coach Ed is an outstanding teacher in the classroom, with both of my daughters having him. He does an outstanding job and goes the extra mile to help those kids. And that's what we need to be thinking about and concerned about, is the teachers we have in our schools and how they help mold our children. Thank you.
Since education seems to be the subject of today, we also have to recognize that our dollars are finite. There's just so much money out there, and if we do have to raise taxes, I can't believe I'm even saying that, but we can't go too far too fast, because it will impact a lot of different things, not only people's pocketbooks, but recruitment for industry they really will make a difference on that. But on the other hand, I serve on the hospital board. We had a meeting the other night those meetings last as long as these, or sometimes even longer. And part of the problem that we have at the hospital is recruitment for physicians, PAs, nurses, and part of it is the schools. They don't want to bring their children here to put them in our schools, or they want to live and commute back and forth. That's not the only reason, but it is a big reason. So we're going to have to come up with a comprehensive plan to do this, and there are ways of doing better education models other than just money throwing it at you. So we need to work closely with our school board and hope we can do that. Yesterday I had the opportunity to go down to Havelock, a project that's been in the works for 30 years. They finally signed with the Sierra Club to allow the bypass to proceed around Havelock. And it was a big ceremony. There was a lot of people there yesterday. I was really kind of surprised, because on a Monday early. But I'm glad to see that project going forward, because this really made a big difference here in Wayne County. And I'm encouraged for those who are on the 70 Corridor Commission that I understand that Kinston is now ready to play ball. So we may be looking at a better path from here to the coast in the next few years. And maybe your interstate will finally be possible. Hopefully. I also went to the Transportation Committee, and thought I was going to have to chair it, but Commissioner Recott drug himself out of bed to come. He'd been sick. But it was a good meeting, and I was so glad we were able to find somebody in Wayne County to provide the food, which is Danny King from out of Mount Olive, and the food was excellent. Won't you agree, Wayne?
I agree.
It was really good. And during the interim, while we were still finishing lunch, we asked him to come up and talk about some of his programs too. And so he does a lot more than just cook food. But other than that, is there any more business to come to before this board? I know we're going to do that. All right, then we need to go back and close session for the same reason. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand.